right, what's up, everybody? We're back another episode today, and I don't really want to make this video, but it may be something that's very necessary going forward, right, for Alabama. So Kalen DeBoer and Jalen Milroe won 9 games this year, but going forward for Kalen DeBoer, I'm not sure if Jalen Milroe is going to be the quarterback that they need. And the reason why I say that is because in the past, I'll start playing some of the clips now, and we'll just talk about them as they go for certain things. But DeBoer has ran a scheme, even when he had Ryan Grubb as an OC, who's the OC for the Seahawks now, and everything else, that relies a lot on two things: space and timing. They want to spread you out, get the 3 receiver sets a lot with a tight end, and they run the ball as well. Washington, that last year when they made it to the national championship game with DeBoer, they had 1,200 rushing yards with their starting running back. So they'll run the ball too. But spreading out and figuring out ways to get the horizontal matchups underneath one-on-one with the curl flat concept a lot, or some of the quick outs like you see here, in timing. Really big on timing, and I think that's what Jalen is kind of struggling with, is just getting the timing down on some of these plays. When they're not stressing you out horizontally, they're stressing you vertically, like you just saw right there, right? So they have a lot of vertical concepts. They like to run downfield. They run deep posts. They'll run a post with a goal. Sometimes they'll give you curl flat to the boundary or to the field, and then they'll give you vertical routes on the other side of the ball. And a lot of it relies on a lot of timing. As you've seen so far, this is when he was an OC at Fresno State, and they took down UCLA, who was ranked at the time. And it's his scheme, pushing it down the field. This is when he was at Indiana. And it's timing. The receiver's going to be there. You got to get it there. Out the spread, they've been very successful. They ran some RPO game, just like everything else. I don't think the RPO is as layered as Steve Sarkisian runs it at Texas. But even at Oregon, MPJ, which is Michael Penix Jr., if you didn't know, he's a sub 4.5 runner. He's not the pure athlete or the speed guy that Jalen is. But a lot of these concepts that you're seeing, just getting the ball out. Like Michael Penix didn't take a lot of sacks when he was at Washington. He didn't get sacked a lot. And if you watch the national championship game last year, Michigan did a really good job versus Washington in getting a lot of stops because they threw the timing off for the play, And last year, Washington, it kind of helped them a lot because they had some guys that are making plays in the league now. Bama's second receiver with Jeremy Bernard, I think he was like the 4th or 5th option at Washington. The other guys went to the league, they're making plays now. But it all comes down to timing. A lot of the offense comes down to timing. And you can kind of tell timing is off with Milroe at quarterback. I'm not sure if he's not seeing what he needs to see key-wise. But something for DeBoer going forward that's going to make it a little bit difficult is he has to implement his scheme at some point. And you're not coaching at Michigan State. You're not coaching at Texas Tech. You're not coaching at Oregon State or Rutgers. You're coaching at a premier college. You're coaching at one of the most elite schools in the nation in Alabama. And the time for you to put your scheme in place, you won't have that as you would at other schools. Now, I'm not saying Alabama's going to fire him. I'm not encouraging Jalen to hit the portal or to declare for the draft or to switch positions. But for DeBoer, at some point, he's going to have to decide what he wants to run. And for him to get the guys that he needs in there, it may take Jalen not being the starting quarterback next year. You know, you got Russell coming in, who some people had him as the second best quarterback, third best quarterback behind Bryce Underwood. Some people say he's better than Bryce Underwood. Just depends on who you talk to. And they also have Austin Mack, who transferred in from Washington, so he already knows DeBoer's scheme and what he wants to run, sitting behind Penix at Washington. And you still have Ty Simpson, who is at Bama as well. But if you haven't noticed, one thing you see a lot on here is the ball's getting out. You know, it's not a lot of holdover on the ball. It's not a lot of dancing in the pocket to see what's going to happen. The reads are there, right? Some of these plays you see, like this one right here, the ball's getting down the field. Receivers are getting open. And Bama has some guys that can get open. You know, Bama doesn't have the elite wide receiver room that we knew when they had, you know, the Jerry Judys, the Jalen Waddles, the Mechis, the Jamo Williams, all those guys back there, in which they're 4-5 across the board with Sunday players. But as you can see, the guys they had at Washington versus Texas, and this isn't the same exact Texas defense they have this year as last year, but Texas was a very solid unit last year as well. You can see a lot of underneath routes that create some opportunities for the quarterback to throw the ball down the field more than we've seen a little bit this year with them. And, you know, I think it's just with Jalen somehow being not the quarterback that Penix was, or even, as you saw earlier, you know, Jake Haener made some throws that we haven't seen from Milroe. And Milroe can make some of these throws. But the problem I think at times that DeBoer is dealing with is how consistent can he be with getting this ball right there? Getting that ball in the point in which my guy is going to make the play, or my guy has the opportunity to make this play more than the other guy does. You see him working a deep post here and getting underneath it. Like that's a perfectly good ball, right? And shout out my boy Couture right there, man. He up there in Indiana. They doing some big things right now. He just giving me a call right now. I'll call him back after the video. But the ball's out, right? This ball isn't holding. Michigan threw the timing off, as I said before. And you can just see right here that they're working some deep posts, some deep, getting that safety, you know. DeBoer wants to create those mismatches down the field and underneath to create that. And a lot of things, I watched a video from Kirby earlier on my way out here to Vegas for New Year's, and Happy New Year's to everybody as well, you know, whenever you watch the video or not. But this is a pass-first league. Even Kirby said it. Football's pass-first right now. But how you pass the ball can determine how you run the ball, because we get you playing a little bit further off the ball. You create those opportunities as Washington did with number 7 and getting 1,200 rushing yards with these receivers that are just, they running, right? And we want to see this, right? Just a little bit, you look at it. You're looking the ball right here. 1-2, read, boom, ball's out. First down. You know, he ended up getting stripped there, but even at Indiana when he was there with Michael Penix as well, ball is out, touchdown, stressing the defense. And I'm not sure if Jalen can do that going forward. So what are you going to do? And like I said, once again, I love Jalen Milroe as a football player, because if he's not a quarterback, he could be a top 5 running back in the country. He could probably be a top 5 wideout. He could be a top 5 DB, you know, star, anything like that. He can play. The guy's a football player. He's an athlete. He's probably outside of Travis Hunter, like I said before. Anytime you put him on the field, he's going to be the most athletic guy out there. He can play multiple positions. And I'm just not sure if this is going to be a good fit for him going forward with what DeBoer wants to put in place, right? So y'all leave some comments if you think, or what you think depending on, how you view it. But I think DeBoer is going to have to make a serious decision this offseason on what he wants to do going forward. Because you're going into year 2 with Bama. Bama hasn't had a under 10-win season, and I couldn't even tell you the last time that took place. And they have to figure something out, right? Because everybody in that SEC is getting better as well. Everybody in the country is getting better. And you can't let everybody get better around you and you not get better as well. And I'm not saying Jalen can't be the guy, but at this point, from what we've seen in this system and last year, in which I feel like Tommy Rees did him a disservice for the first couple of games, got to make a decision, right? So y'all leave some comments, drop a follow and a subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think. Appreciate you.